Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Saturday, July 1st, 2017. My name is Rich, and joining me to celebrate the 150th birthday of this great nation of Canada is Bijan. How you making out? Oh, geez, what is this? The champ demands that he is introduced by his proper title. You are to also refer to him only as the champ from here on out. Seriously? All right, champ, what's the deal?
Welcome, everybody, to the Armchair Ninja Podcast, featuring the champ of A&W Fantasy, Team Ninja Warrior Fantasy. Bijan has arrived! And it also features Rich.
Yeah.
What up? Today was a good day!
I bet it was. Except this episode was a hot mess, other than the fact that this episode was all over the place.
It was a hot mess. But, you know, it all worked out. The champ's here to stay, guys. All right, with that said, I just wanted to do that at the beginning, get it all out of the way. For real, though, major props to everybody on this in this entire season. I mean, the level of athleticism that we saw was really amazing. Team Storm was so good by the fact that there was so much camaraderie and so much trust involved with the team. And just everything that they displayed together was really fun. Team TNT was also quite amazing, and they've got such a story that we'll dive into later, but I have a lot of respect for them and what they've gone through. Yeah, this was an episode of lots of up and downs. It was very anticlimactic, I guess is the best way to put it, right, Rich? Very anticlimactic, just painful towards the end, but it's outside circumstances, but it's really hard to see people get injured. I mean, that really sucked. Like, it's one thing to see somebody fall and fail, like, early, but it's a whole nother thing to see them train all year out, give it their all, and then they get to the very end, like the penultimate run of the entire season, and they injure themselves and get taken out right there. That's just the worst. I feel for everybody that got injured.
The fact you say everybody that got injured tells you how this episode went.
Yeah, it was not just one. I mean, just it sucks, man. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's not how you want to end the season for sure. But this was a good episode to watch, as you know, for the most part, and it was till things started going off the rails. But we had some of our favorite ninjas there, I guess is what I'm getting at. We had the Golden Hearts. That's Neil Craver's team, Team TNT, that's Travis Rosen's team, NorCal Ninjas with David Campbell, and the Real Life Beasts with Drew Drechsel. Like some top tier ninjas. The champ is here! Really?
What?
You just never
None
mind.
just what just happened? None. Yeah.
All right, champ. So the first matchup we have is TNT versus the Real Life Beasts. So Brett Sims versus James McGrath. How did you think that was going to go? Because they were both undefeated at that point, right?
Yeah, that was fun going into it. I had a lot of confidence in James McGrath just due to this particular course and the fact that we have the tires. I mean, there's not much room for going ahead and making that even balance or like just... There's no middle ground. You already know what obstacles are really going to make the difference, and it's mostly going to be the ring of fire and the balance springs, whatever those things are called. Those are the two that's really going to decide it. And in both cases, you have Beast McGrath, who's got a lot more experience from what I've seen when it comes to like grip strength and he's got a longer frame. So I feel like this course would just fit more towards his style a little bit more. Unfortunately for Brett Sims, it was close, but he did persevere.
Brett came as close as we've seen anyone to actually making a pass on those tires, though. He almost managed to do it.
That was creative, honestly, because to this point, we were talking, there's no way to go ahead. He figured out a way. Props to that guy. If he were to actually pull off what he tried, that would have been so cool. And I was wondering if more people would try that, saw him go for that and go for broke in that way, because I feel like that's much more doable than the just go for broke leap to the second tire, because like, that's way too hard. I was curious to see if we saw more of that, but after this particular try, we didn't see any more of that.
Yeah, nobody else kind of picked up on it or realized that it might be possible. Somebody with longer arms maybe had a little more luck.
But props to Sims. I mean, that was creative.
Yeah, but James did end up winning once he got slightly ahead. It didn't take much. But and Brett kept it close, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. So next matchup we had Marybeth Wang versus Erica Cook. Marybeth was off the ring first, and then Erica, I just realized, had a rough episode, man. They had a collision on the floating tiles.
A lot of the female competitors had a really rough night today.
Yeah. And they both ended up falling in. I wasn't sure what you were going to make of that one, because I know you love when they bang into each other and stuff, but I wasn't sure about this one.
It just, yeah, I mean, they banged into each other, and I like the fact that they just went for broke, but it's a really tough obstacle to, like, if you bang into a person, it's not like you're really hampering them and you're going to persevere ahead of them. It's more like you're just going for broke. You're going to hinder both, you know?
Yeah.
And in many cases, you're going to be the one falling into the water, really.
Yeah. So that led to an epic matchup. We had Travis Rosen versus Drew Drechsel to decide who moved on.
Oh, yes. See, Travis Rosen. Don't sleep on Travis Rosen, guys. His age is deceptive. That guy is fast, and I was excited for this. Drew Drechsel is, he's one of the fastest competitors, though, so it was going to be I was so curious, and it really bothers me, like, the more I think about it, like, why was it that the finals had to be those damn tires, dude? Like, I just wish there was some obstacle where there was much more avenues to make up some difference, man. Because by the time we get to the tires, you kind of know who's gonna go all the way. Because I have all confidence in the world that all these competitors can go up the warped wall. So it's kind of a crapshoot to that point.
You almost have to step it back even before that. Like the floating tiles. Whoever hits the floating tiles first, it's over. They're going to make it over the floating tiles unless they're banging up against each other at that point. If they're just slightly ahead, that's it. They're across. The person behind them either has to come right on their heels and risk, having the tiles bouncing around and that they fall in. And even when they do that, they can't make up the time on the tires. There's just no way to do it, really.
It's just unfortunate. Like, this was the course design that they had for the finals. Sucks, man.
We had some good ones through the seasons. It was not a great choice for the finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, Travis got hung up on the ring, and as soon as he does that, well, I guess it's over. Ring of Fire, you hit the first peg against Drew Drechsel, you are done. You are so done, it's not even funny. Moving on to the next matchup, we had Golden Hearts versus the NorCal Ninjas. We had Grant McCartney versus the Papal Ninja. Sean... What the heck is his last name? Sean Bryan. Of course, it's Sean Bryan, everybody's favorite. Sean gets slightly ahead and just kept the lead the whole way. That guy is like...
Good on him, man.
Like, just making a total name for himself, in spite of the fact that I can't remember it today for some reason.
No, seriously, like, this guy, I really hope we see him at least, adopted onto a team on Team Ninja Warrior next season, because out of all of the stand-ins, right, like, this guy really made a mark on his team. Like, he really held his own. Good on him. And yeah, he did far and above what anybody expected of him. And he went up against some really tough competition too.
So yeah, looking back, since he's joined this, his matchups have been Carson Williams.
Wow.
And then on this episode, Grant McCartney. And later in this episode, he goes against James McGrath. Like, this guy couldn't have drawn a worse lot if he tried.
That's tough. And he's holding his own. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, holding his own would be putting it lightly. That guy did amazing. He beat 2 of the 3.
That's right, man. Damn.
He beat Carson.
Like, you could not ask for a better addition, right? Like, if one of your teammates goes out, this is like the type of replacement you want.
Yeah. Amazing job by him. So then we get to see Natalie versus Anna Shoemaker. Sorry, Natalie Duran versus Anna Shoemaker.
Oh.
Natalie got hung up on the Ring of Fire.
Hang on, before we even go into it, I mean, we were talking about Anna Shoemaker versus Natalie Duran, man. Gotta amp it up. So Anna Shoemaker, if you guys remember up to this point, she's been phenomenal. She's been beast moding up against some of the top female ninjas, and she's been really making a name for herself. I think, Rich, like me and you both, I think have her as like one of our rookies of the season. And
yeah,
she just, I adore what she's been doing. And then Natalie Duran's been really good this whole season. So I was really looking forward to this matchup, and they did not disappoint with what we got. I mean, it was a roller coaster, just going back and forth, back and forth. They showed so much heart, and I love this run, dude.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense, crazy back and forth run because Natalie got hung up, and then Anna almost fell on the floating tiles, but she managed to save it. Yeah. And then she barely makes it off the tires. Natalie ends up flopping down beside her. And as Anna stops to wipe her shoes because she had gotten wet because it was just a crazy run, Natalie blows past her and up the wall. Like, I can't believe that was a really good wall run that she made, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Natalie Duran was 3 obstacles behind her at a certain point. So, like, Natalie Duran was very far behind. Like, in most cases, you'd count the person out, but it was just back and forth at the very end. I mean, that was cool. And the fact that Anna Shoemaker, she had to wipe her shoes, and it was just that split second where Natalie Duran just had to go. She was probably exhausted at that point because she was holding herself up for all that time. And she just went to a second gear, blew right past her, and ran right up that warped wall. I mean, a lot of respect to both of them. That was crazy, dude.
Yeah, it definitely was. So that meant that it came down to the captains again. We had Neil Craver versus David Campbell. David pulled ahead in the swing jump, and then he just fell on the tires out of nowhere. It's like totally crushing. Like, oh no, like my hopes, because I picked NorCal for this episode.
Yeah, that just sucked though, because it's David Campbell, and he's made mistakes like that before where he's going at a breakneck speed and he makes a small mistake and it costs him. And that just sucks. I really, dang, David, like, why? I always want him to do well. Yeah, just a crazy run. It kind of was the theme of this episode where it's going breakneck speed. To this point, it was a fantastic episode, right? And then things happen like this where it just crashes and burns, or you're just like, oh no. That is not how I wanted to see this run go.
This is actually, where the wheels came off of it, I think.
Yeah.
Because now NorCal was going up against Real Life Beasts. So we got to see Sean Bryan versus James McGrath in the first run-up. James got a little bit ahead and beat him to the floating tiles, and that was it. There was no getting back from that point. He made a good effort to catch up, but there was just no getting it back. And the next run we had was Anna Shoemaker versus Erica Cook, and I missed it, I guess. I couldn't tell what the heck had happened. Like, Erica just collapses, and thankfully they did the replay, and we see that she hyperextended her knee.
That was scary.
It just looked awful.
That was super scary. I mean, at first, as you said, it came out of nowhere, and you're like, what just happened? But then I saw her, like, immediately, like, go up into a ball. Like, everybody knows that position of, like, genuine pain. And you could just see, like, she's making, like, a crying face. And more importantly, just her body language said, like, she's in severe pain. Instantly, I'm like, oh, no. Like, you just never want... This is not the way to go out, you know? And I really felt for her. Because at this point, I mean, they fought so hard through all the toughest competition. And this is the worst time to go out. And I really felt for Erica Cook. I mean, that just really sucks. Like, for the team, for her in particular. And as you said, hyperextending a knee is very painful and a very serious injury. So I really wish her the best. I mean, that's got to be so demoralizing, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And like you said, when you saw the look on her face, you knew it was something serious. She wasn't just hurt, she was injured. And yeah. So it sucked.
It really, like, it's just not the way to have a finale.
Yeah. And then it just keeps going after this, right? Yeah. So we end up getting to see the little brief moments, though, because we get to see David Campbell versus Drew Drechsel, which I was thinking you must have been really excited to see.
Yeah. Could say that again. I was very excited. You know, it was fun while it lasted. It was very fun. Drew Drechsel, man, he's next level. Like, what do you have to do to beat this guy? I really want to see Drew Drechsel versus Joe Moravsky. I mean, you can just imagine what that would be like. So
yeah, we've got lots of cool matchups that we get to see this season, but there's a few that we still want to see for sure.
Who do you got in that matchup, by the way? Joe Moravsky or Drew Drechsel?
The only person that's going to beat Drew is himself. So if he misses a hand placement, that's about it. Like,
so you'd pick Drew on that, huh? I honestly would pick Joe Moravsky over Drew, and that's the only time I do that. But when it comes to Team Ninja Warrior, I mean, Drew is fast and all, but Joe Moravsky is so perfect. Like, I can't see anybody beating him.
Yeah, I find it hard to disagree, really. Joe's put up some crazy times, and we haven't seen him really struggle at all.
Mm-hmm. With that said, I mean, it's literally like, it's a crapshoot. They're both like, it'd be a difference of milliseconds. So, who knows?
So in the David versus Drew match, Drew pulled ahead on the rings, and it looked like David might actually catch him on the tires, but Drew dove off into a roll and just ended up winning it. It was like just over.
Yeah.
So that meant that NorCal Ninjas were bumped out, and that Real Life Beast would be continuing on, so they needed a substitute. So Sarah...
The champ is here!
Sorry, go ahead.
Sarah Showback had to step in.
So this was very unfortunate because I really feel bad for Showback. I mean...
Yes. No pressure.
She's gotta be like, this is worst case scenario for everybody involved. If you're an alternate, right, the one position you don't want to be in is you're going into the relay of the finals, and all the pressure is on you. And if you make a mistake, like, everybody's going to be like focused on you. And you've had no chance to warm up on any of these obstacles. These obstacles are new to you. I mean, it's just a really bad situation. And then you have poor Drew and James McGrath, where they have to put all their faith in this girl that's, you know, still new to trying these new obstacles, especially that Ring of Fire that's like caused so many competitors trouble. Like, what can they do in this situation, man?
Yeah, we're jumping ahead a little bit because we still have to see Team TNT versus the Golden Hearts.
But we know the Real Life Beasts are in the finals, and we just know that we have a rookie with them, and yeah.
And we're just like, yeah, I would not be that rookie for anything in the world. As cool as it would be to say, like, yeah, I competed on a team with Drew Drechsel and James McGrath, but the pressure of everyone else has tried Ring of Fire 4 times at least at this point. You've never had a chance to even attempt it, and you've got it all, everything's riding on you.
And I'll tell you this, I better not see any hate geared towards Showback online.
Really, though.
Because she deserves none of it. We'll get into that later.
Flip fell twice as a reminder, right? Like, we've seen some of the best competitors falling on this obstacle, so yeah. All right, so Team TNT versus Golden Hearts. We have Brett Sims versus Neil Craver, and surprisingly, Neil misses the swing jump on his first attempt, and that's all it takes in these crazy runs. All it takes is one little slip up, and Brett cruises past him for the win. Yeah,
it's crazy, but you know, I appreciate the fact that they switched up the team order where they had Neil Craver go first and Grant McCartney take the anchor run, because at this point, Grant McCartney has done better, and I just appreciate when they show more confidence in their other, teammates.
Yeah, it's all about the team, right? So, and that shows that that egos aren't in play. It's all about getting the W.
Even though they don't have like much vignettes on the show because it's so like there's so much happening on this episode, you can just see the charisma and all the fun with Team Golden Hearts. I love those guys.
Moving on to Marybeth Wang versus Natalie Duran. Natalie got way ahead, but then hurt herself on the dismount. Like I say, injured herself on the dismount, came down on her ankle. Like, what is with this finale? Like, trying to break our hearts right at the end?
Yeah, that was... Oh, man. And that was a nasty fall, too. And literally, like, right at the end. Poor Natalie Duran. You know what, though? It's really cool the fact that she's still... Like, she knew she hurt, like injured herself pretty severely. And even though like she held on, like she still had a smile on her face going out. And that shows a true like competitor and a good person. Not a good person, but like somebody that has positive vibes always, because that's a really tough situation, and she still kept a brave face. So much respect to her and everybody involved in that situation, because that could have really, like, most people would take that really hard.
Yeah, and it's got to be a little bittersweet for Marybeth, because this is her first buzzer. She manages to make it through.
Oh, yeah?
Hits the buzzer, and it's the first time she's hit it.
Good for her for achieving what she came to accomplish. It was by unfortunate means, but at least she was able to have like a small victory for herself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, like, this is the problem with this episode. There's all these technicalities or, like, asterisks. It sucks, man.
Exactly.
It sucks. It's nobody's fault, but it just sucks.
So then we had Travis Rosen versus Grant McCartney. Grant hits that first notch on the Ring of Fire and went for broke, as we like to see, and nothing against him for missing, because that's all you can do on those stupid tires.
Yep. Just unfortunate design at the end.
Yeah, he has to do everything he can to catch up, makes the leap, didn't quite catch it though, unfortunately. So that meant the finale, the first finals matchup we get, because of the odd layout of these episodes, we have Team TNT versus Real Life Beasts.
Oh, I was scared. I was so scared. I'm like, Team TNT is going to come back and just do it all again. Like, it's the team that, like, we sleep on, Ridge, but they always find a way. They always find a way. And major props to them. I mean, what a story they have. Once again, a team with Brett Sims and Travis Rosen, where people overlook them by their age or whatever, but they're still top ninjas. And even though they're not as flashy or whatever as like some of the more out there ninjas, they're still at their A games, and they just have to keep winning, and that's what they do. Everybody else can be as flashy or charismatic or fun or whatever, but they're just going to keep on winning. And a part of me was really happy to see them in this run. And yeah, what a story for that team, man. Like, both seasons, who would have thought Team TNT just going to the finale? And Real Life Beast, it's also another story where it's kind of the opposite, where everybody expects the most of them, right, Rich? Like, it's Real Life Beast, and you just see the team, and you're like, of course they're going to just blow through everybody. But at the very end, just unfortunate circumstances happen, and you can't blame anybody for what happens in this run. So I guess just go through it, even though a part of me is going to just die inside listening to it.
So the lineup we had was Marybeth versus Sarah Showback, the substitute. And Travis is running in the middle of the course, which really surprised me, going up against James in the midfield. And then Brett versus Drew to bring it home.
Made sense at the end.
Do a double take?
It did for a second. Like, I was like, what? But then I remembered how fast Brett Sims is when it comes to the upper body obstacles, and it made sense to me that by the fact that they must have been very confident that they'd get a major lead. With that said, they were gambling. Like, they were definitely gambling, right? Of the fact that maybe Showback might not even fall, but might be a lot slower. But they had a lot of confidence that Brett Sims can get to the buzzer fast enough, and then they'd have a fresh Travis Rosen for the ultimate final. And I didn't mind it at all. Once again, complete trust in the team. I like that dynamic. It's the complete team that wins the relay. I like that.
So Marybeth got slightly ahead at the Ring of Fire, and then Sarah fell in the Ring of Fire. And as soon as that happened, it's like, this is completely over.
It was over, yeah.
10-second penalty applied. Travis flies through the second part of the course. James, went as fast as he could to try to catch up. Brett was going really well. He was way ahead to the rope with Drew in his tail. He was 15 feet behind on the rope. And it's like, you know what? As good as Drew is, he's not that good.
Yeah.
He's still got to actually do the climb. And it just didn't quite happen for them.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah.
It was hard, man, because it's not the way you want the season to end. You want to see the best of the best with the teams that have fought so hard to make it. It was clear, like, one of the teams kind of had like their leg cut off from underneath them, and the replacement did the best she could, and that's all anybody can ask of her. It's no fault to her in the slightest. Okay, it's just with the circumstances that happened, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, that one was a lot more understandable than the next one. We had Team TNT versus Storm Team. They lined up Marybeth versus Alyssa Beard to kick it off, Brett Sims versus Joe Moravsky in the middle, and Travis Rosen versus Josh Levin to finish it all up.
This was fun. Like, I was like, this could be a fun run. I was 100% confident in my team. I'll be very honest with you. I was like, Team TNT, good for you guys, but
you thought they had.
You're not beating Josh Levin and Joe Moravsky. But it was the beginning that I was somewhat cautious of, but I had confidence. Alyssa Beard in these past few runs has done a lot better. So I was very confident in my team. Very confident.
Unfortunately, Marybeth this is her 6th time doing the course, and this is the first time she falls in the Ring of Fire. Like,
that sucks.
Worst possible time to do it.
Yeah. Like, when you're in the relay, I get it. You're going fast. But at this point, you've seen how many people fall in the Ring of Fire. Like, go as slow as you need to, just get through that obstacle.
And it happens. I mean, she could be tired. I mean, God knows. Like we said, the 6th time she's done it. Mm-hmm. Been running these courses. This is the very last race. We've had to do all these extra ones.
Yeah. I feel for her, though. I mean, no matter how much of a viewer it sucks to see that, you have to know she's very aware of the circumstances and how hard that is on her team. And I feel for her. Like, you can see the emotion on her face. And you never want to be in that position. I'll just say I feel for Marybeth a lot. But, well, like, at that point, anticlimactic. Like, come on, man. It's like...
It does. It sucks the life out of the finale, though, too. When somebody falls early on, you're like, well, it's over. Like, they're not making that up. Joe, was way ahead when Brett started, and Josh is on the globes by the time Travis is even tagged. Like, he's halfway up when Travis starts.
And it's like, Josh Levin.
It's Josh Levin. Like, it's just not catching him.
Yeah, so...
I mean, Travis made a good effort. I mean, he went up 2 rungs at a time on the salmon ladder.
Yeah, it's Travis. He's good, but as we said with Drew Drechsel, it's like people they're still humans, you can't literally like Superman fly up the rope. Like, it sucks. But major congratulations to Storm Team. They ran a phenomenal season, and Team TNT. But I have to give props to both teams. They fought hard to get to where they're at, and they definitely proved, all members of the teams, even if you fell or not, I mean, all members of the team showed why they deserve to have that recognition in that spot. And I'm happy for all the teams. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good season. I think it shows a ton of promise for the future. I think we're going to keep seeing more seasons. That's our hope anyway.
God, have you guys seen like how much USA promotes this show? I mean, Team Ninja Warrior, like, USA is really behind them, and that's good to see.
And they have a decent trophy this year. Did you notice?
Yeah, way better than last year. Whew.
No golden
it didn't
buzzer
remind me until I saw the trophy that it instantly reminded me of that abomination of last year's trophy, which I will not describe to everybody of what it looked like, but y'all know. Y'all know. And yeah, I'm glad they've got a much better trophy this year.
So that is it for our coverage of Team Ninja Warrior this year. Another great season under wraps. And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter, and also active on Facebook. Always forget to mention it. Check us out on Facebook, like the page, and we'll be sharing stuff out there as well. Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit up the champ at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151. I had Twitter and Instagram. I'd like to hear your congratulations, how much you hate the fact that you're going to hear this song for a whole lot more now. And, congrats to all my teams. Y'all did well. Did the champ proud.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great week.
The champ is once and forever here!